Jack Harlan froze in his tracks. There, outlined against the flickering light of his barn lantern, stood three women who had no business being in his isolated world on the windswept plains of Willow Ridge, Montana. Their soaked dresses hugged bodies that made his pulse race and his resolve waver after 22 years of steering clear of any temptation. The tall one with midnight black hair leaned against a post, her chest heaving from their frantic dash through the blizzard. Snowflakes melted on her sun-kissed skin, each drop carving trails down her neck that Jack's eyes followed despite his best efforts to look away. The young blonde chewed her lip, staring at him with bold defiance, her ripped blouse exposing more than any respectable woman would allow. And the third, a seasoned beauty with sharp eyes, stepped forward with a poise no small-town lady could match. "Please," she murmured, and Jack's ironclad barriers began to crack like brittle ice. In that instant, Jack Harlan, the virgin rancher of Willow Ridge, knew his fortified life was about to shatter. But could he handle the storm that followed? His hands shook harder than during his first showdown as he ushered the three women into his cabin. The howling wind outside sealed them in a space that now felt as tight as a noose and as scorching as a branding iron. "We ran from Madame Victoria's," the older one said, water streaming from her chestnut hair. "I'm Evelyn. This is Lily," she nodded to the feisty blonde. Sophia, the dark-haired woman with native features, dipped her head silently, her coal-black eyes locked on Jack's face. Evelyn's gown, once elegant satin, now molded to her ample form like a glove. Jack forced himself to listen to her story, not the way the firelight danced over her curves. "Victoria was set to hand me over to a brute who gets off on pain," Lily snarled, her laugh jagged and bitter. "At least you had one buyer. She had a lineup of four waiting for me." Her torn top barely held together, and Jack's gaze wandered to the pale skin she showed without a hint of modesty. But Sophia unraveled him completely. As she neared the hearth, her drenched skirt hiked up, revealing toned legs that blended power and allure. When she met his eyes with that haunted stare, Jack felt a pull deeper than desiring an old wound stirring to life. "You're hurt," he rasped, spotting the blood on Sophia's leg. She glanced down, unfazed. "Just a snag on the wire. Nothing." Yet Jack was already in motion, his guardian instincts overriding decades of isolation. "Sit. I'll fix it." As Sophia perched on his sturdy chair, Jack knelt with warm water and a rag. His steady rancher's hands trembled like leaves in a gale as he lifted her leg. Her skin was smooth velvet against his rough palms. The cut was minor, but tending it meant pushing her skirt higher, exposing the sweep of her thigh. Jack's breath came in ragged bursts. Sophia did too, but when he looked up, her eyes held awe, not scorn. "Your touch," she whispered in lightly accented English. "It's kind. Not like—" She stopped, but Jack got it. In her life, men's hands meant only harm. "I won't harm you," he vowed, meaning it down to his bones. "None of you. You're safe here." Evelyn observed from afar, her face softening. Lily's tough facade splintered, showing the scared girl underneath. As Jack wrapped Sophia's wound, their gazes locked, sparking something raw and unavoidable. For the first time, Jack Harlan touched a woman with reverence, not dread. Outside, the blizzard screamed like a demon. Inside, for damaged spirits teetered on the brink of salvation or ruin. The storm locked them in for 4 days and nights, each hour chipping away at Jack's defenses like relentless rain on rock. Evelyn commandeered his kitchen with effortless skill, bending to stir stew on the stove, her dress stretching tight over her hips. Jack rediscovered long-dormant urges. She shared her story one evening, widowed young, with a 7-year-old son back with kin while she scraped by in the only trade open to her. "A decent man's worth more than silver," Evelyn said softly, her hand grazing his arm. The brief touch jolted him like lightning. Lily was a wildfire, hard to contain. The spirited redhead would hop on his table, legs dangling, skirt riding up shamelessly, spinning yarns that scorched his ears and tightened his jeans. "Ever been with a woman, Jack?" she teased on night 2, eyes twinkling with trouble. His blush rivaled a sunset, drawing her gentle laugh. "Relax, handsome. We won't devour you." But Sophia invaded his dreams and thoughts. She said little, yet her presence hummed like a distant melody, poignant and beautiful. On the 3rd night, with the others asleep, Jack found her by the window, moonlight on snow casting her in ethereal glow. His spare shirt hung loose on her, enhancing her allure. "Can't sleep?" he asked quietly. She turned, tears glistening on her cheeks. "I dream of my kin sometimes, before the cavalry came." Before. She waved vaguely at the pain that had driven her here. Jack drew nearer, pulled by an invisible force. "Tell me about them." Sophia's smile broke through like dawn. "In Navajo, we say I'll chini man with a woman's spirit. Not feeble, but strong in gentleness, caring." Her fingers hovered near his cheek before falling. "That's you, Jack Harlan." The air between them crackled with pent-up longing. Jack had never craved anything like he did, bridging that gap, tasting lips that wove such poetry. As he leaned in, Sophia pulled back. "No," she breathed, voice cracking. "You don't know what I am, what I've endured to live." "I don't care," Jack insisted, truth ringing in his words. Whatever her history, this woman deserved his fight, his shield, his love. Sophia's eyes widened at love. Had he voiced it? But Lily's voice shattered the spell. "Ain't this precious?" No malice, just observation. Evelyn joined, her look warm and wise. "Give him space, Lily. Some flames need time." The moment fled. Sophia retreated to her bed. Jack stood in the moonlight, heart thundering like stampeding cattle, sensing a seismic shift ahead. Morning brought clear skies and the rumble of horses, the snap of rifle cocks. Jack was chopping wood when the riders materialized from the snowy fields. 8 men, led by Sheriff Caldwell, whose star was greased by Madame Victoria's payoffs. "Jack Harlan," Caldwell bellowed, backed by lever-action threats. "You've got Victoria's property. Hand him over and we'll square it." Jack's hand found his peacemaker, its heft grounding him. Behind the door creaked. Evelyn, Lily, and Sophia emerged on the porch, defiance etched in their stances. "No one's property on my land," Jack shouted back, voice steady as a vow. Caldwell's laugh was venomous. "You fool. These ain't ladies' theory whores. Belongings get returned." The slur struck Jack like a whip, not from shock, but realization. It changed nothing. "The only thing heading back is your carcass to whatever pit spawned you." Sophia gasped behind him. The shootout that ensued became Willow Ridge folklore, though tales twisted the facts. Folks claimed Jack stood alone against 8 like a myth. Reality was fiercer. Sophia vanished into the woods during the standoff, re-emerging with a handmade bow from willow branches and arrows tipped with her own braids. While Jack drew fire from his upturned buckboard, Sophia ghosted through the white expanse. Evelyn yanked Lily behind the cabin's logs, but not before Lily snatched Jack's extra Winchester. "I won't go down, Meek," Lily growled, blood trickling from her bitten lip. The clash was savage and quick. Jack's revolver barked 7 times, dropping as many. Sophia's arrows pierced true, 2 men falling mute with shafts in their chests. When Caldwell charged wildly, Lily's shot rang out, toppling the crooked sheriff into crimson snow. In the hush, Jack's world tilted. He'd taken lives before, but never for souls he couldn't lose. Lily was hit, a slug in her arm drawing multilingual curses. Evelyn bandaged her steadily while Sophia stood vigilant, bow ready, eyes on the dead. "This isn't done," Jack said gravely. "Victoria's got pull, maybe Pinkertons, even troops." Evelyn met his gaze, knowing. That night, as Lily battled fever, the women chose. Jack found them packing scant belongings. You can't stay, Sophia said, avoiding his eyes. We won't pull you into our fight. Jack's chest caved. I'll go with you. Evelyn's tone was kind but firm. You're good, Jack, but we're hardened survivors. That life would break you. The truth lingered like fog, lovely yet ungraspable. They departed pre-dawn, but Sophia lingered. Jack sat on his porch, stars dimming, when she appeared like a vision. In Evelyn's Lent dress, she was all he'd ever dared want. Know this, she whispered. What do we share? It was real. Everything. His throat burned. Then why leave? Sophia traced his jaw. You merit better than a scarred woman with stained hands and ghosts. I merit you, Jack said fiercely, gripping her wrist. Their kiss was frantic and tender, packed with unsaid words and stolen futures. Sophia tasted of sorrow and sweet sage. Jack etched it in memory, knowing it must sustain him forever. Pulling away, tears streamed. In Navajo, sure means my heart. You're mine, Jack Harlan. But hearts can be carved out, and you still breathe. She slipped away, pressing a carved arrowhead into his hand warm from her. Some tales pause, not end. Evelyn pecked his cheeks sisterly. Find a kind woman, Jack. Raise kids, build beauty. She hesitated. But remember us. Lily slugged his shoulder with her good arm. You damn hero, she said warmly. You saved us not just from them, but from hating all men. Then they vanished into the mist like phantoms. Jack lingered on the porch, arrowhead searing his palm, wondering if his heart would ever mend. Townsfolk arrived later. Doc Wilkins for wounds, Marshal Hayes from the county to probe the fray, nosy neighbors lured by whispers of gunplay, and enigma women. They saw Jack transformed firmer, sadder, yet unbreakable. You did right, son, Hayes said, eyeing bodies. Caldwell's crew plagued us. Feds wanted a reason to raid victorious. But Jack scarcely listened, eyes on the horizon where 3 had stolen his heart, leaving him reshaped in a cabin where love and grief flipped like a coin. 20 months flowed like mending rivers. Jack Harlan shed his timid shell in Willow Ridge. Locals noted his assured stride, confident without arrogance, kind yet unyielding. Women eyed him warmly, sans his old stammers. He'd dated the librarian briefly, but something anchored him from depth. His spread thrived, his name synonymous with justice, a defender of the vulnerable, foe of graft. The shootout legend swelled, but Jack kept truths sacred. On a crisp October dusk, as Jack broke a bronco in his pen, hoofbeats echoed. A rider shimmered from the prairie haze, a woman on a spotted mare, raven hair whipping free. She dismounted gracefully, approached the fence, and simply gazed. The arrowhead in Jack's pocket warmed like a heartbeat. I faced what I sought out there, Sophia said, voice smooth as bourbon. My people, my history, my calm. She smiled, full of promise. Now I seek my tomorrow with you. Jack's grin sealed it. They wed under Montana skies, build a life of love and family, proving some bonds endure any tempest. What do you think of Jack's journey and the women's choices? Share your opinions in the comments. Take a stand on whether they were right to leave or if true love should defy all risks. Let me know your views.